go and start individually where it's just you,
Oh
then you.
man, you know what? The whole time I wasn't recording. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
Man, I hate when I do. I did that to the other guy. Recorded to my bad. Man. Oh man. All right. Now I got to get all that energy and try to regain.
Yeah,
Oh man, I'm sorry
it's
about that.
it's
Still good
live
on
now.
time. What was that?
I say, okay, yeah, I see where you turned it on is live now.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Oh man. All right. So you still good on time though, right?
Yeah.
All right. I just looked down like, wait a minute. Oh, bad. All right, here we go. All right. So what's going on, YouTube? Me and Fabio Hart here. We've been talking for a little while now, and I thought we were recording, but we weren't. So we're gonna try to deliver that same energy uh, this time around. So again, this is Fabio Hart. He's a he has his channel on YouTube. I'm gonna let you tell let him tell you guys about himself. So here he is.
Hey, YouTube. I'm Fabio Hart, official Fabio Hart here on YouTube. I'm an independent commercial cleaner. I have a commercial cleaning service in various states from Michigan to Ohio to VA, Virginia, um, to Atlanta or Georgia. So, and we branching off into my hometown in Toronto. So we definitely moving very well.
Cool.
So where we're gonna move right into structuring now.
Sure. And
Okay.
it's funny because I feel like we're repeating everything we said, but
Yeah.
so so well, a little bit I'll say, like, as you guys know, I'm a franchise guy. I bought into a franchise. So, and Fabio, he went independent right off jump. You know what I mean? I'm just now getting my feet wet in the independent side of things. So that's why I have him on here, and I'll probably have him on for a couple more videos in this how to clean excuse me, how to start a cleaning business series. So here we go. So the first thing you want to do, actually, let's just review right quick. So I started you guys off with the franchise, exposing the whole franchise model, exactly how much you make and all of that. Then the second video I came and I did the business plan and how to write a business plan and everything. So now what we're doing is moving on to the real action step, which is getting legal. So I have my particular order, and then I'm gonna let Fabio follow me up with how he does things, and he's done it from state to state and Canada. So here's my order. I like to do, excuse me, I like to go file with the state first, file my entity type. So what you can do is you can either go online or you can call down to your state and see if the name that you want is available. You might want to pick a couple different names because the one that you have initially might not be available. So call down there or go online, search and see if the name is available. If it is, you just simply purchase your LLC or corporation or a fictitious name if you're doing sole proprietorship. The if you're doing a corporation, the name of the form that you'll file is an article of incorporation, and if you're doing an LLC, the name of the form would be articles of organization.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about partnership exactly what you should file, but even if you had a partner, I recommend you still doing the LLC and you guys just have shares in it. But so after you get your everything registered with the state, then I say you move on to your EIN number, which is your tax ID number. You can register online also with that at irs.gov, and that's free. So don't pay anybody to do that. All right. So that's number two. Number three is what am I? Oh, get a bank account. Get you a bank account, and you can either do a credit union or a bank account. But next thing is get a bank account. Then fourth, I say go back to your city and get your business license. Here where I am, the business license are about $50, 50 to 65 bucks. Uh, and then also for the state filing, which I didn't mention earlier, the cost for that is like $100 for LLC, I believe, and then 125 for corporations. But they changed, so you got to check. I think one of my subscribers told me over down in Texas, it was like $300 to file over there. So somebody can check into that. She might have went to the wrong place, but either way, that's what we got there. So I'm gonna turn it over to Fabio and see what he has as far as getting organized and getting legal.
Hey, folks. I'm getting back with you here. I agree with the way AJ say as far as structuring, but I did it the reverse way. So basically, let's take Detroit for an example. I'm legally registered in the state of Michigan now, but I started with the city, and then which is $16 in the city of Detroit to register just your regular local business license. Then I went and got an EIN number. Just call the 800 number. Actually, they gave it to me over the phone, put it in the computer, and then they send you a letter with a verification of the number. Then I went to the bank, or as I use, is credit unions. I find them more reasonable as far as just dealing with the overall. Yep. Sorry about that, guys. I'm actually at my storage where I house a lot of the cleaning, the bags, the solutions, and things. So I got in, but anyway, I use credit unions because I find them to be more flexible with the rates. They're more reasonable as far as getting loans, whether it's for cars, homes, business, just personal loans. So I would say, or a community bank, community or a credit union. And lastly, which is $50, is the organization for the LLC.
Okay.
I just went to the local, I think it's michigan.gov website, searched for the LLC. I clicked on the link, filled the application out. I had to print it off in the state of Michigan. You have to print it off and send it in. It's not like you can submit it and it's like an email. You fill it out online, print it off, and then I had to send it in along with my payment, which is $50 in a money order or a check. So pretty much that's how I structured it in Detroit. But once you, in some cases, you can, if you want to start off with just going and get your LLC in the state of Michigan, you can do that, and you don't necessarily have to register as far as with the city. Me, I'm registered. I'm sorry, I'm registered with both because I started from the bottom up. So that's, but you don't necessarily have to do that. If you have the $50 and you say, "What the hell with the $16? I don't want to register with the city," you don't have to because you'd be covered with the state.
Okay. And the other thing I want to mention too is I noticed you said you recommend credit unions, and I definitely agree with that. Credit unions usually offer free business accounts, but I also say if you must do a bank, then try to do a community bank because community banks, they're usually more lenient with the loans. They're local, so they have a little bit more flexibility when it comes to lending. So keep that in mind also. The next thing I want to move on to, so the entity types. Like I said, you can do a sole proprietorship, which means basically when it comes to picking your entity, it's really about taxes. That's really what it comes down to. So you can do sole proprietorship, you can do a partnership, you can do an LLC, you can do, which is a limited liability company or corporate, is it a company or corporate company? And so, and then you can also do an LLP, which is a limited liability partnership. And what else? You got corporation, and that pretty much covers them all. I think. Oh, you can do a contract.
Right.
And so we go ahead.
Yeah, I would suggest you guys just to keep it simple because you really in the cleaning business, whether, and I think it's the same with franchise if I'm not mistaken, you won't need no more than the LLC.
Exactly.
Yeah, you won't need no more. So you don't, I would just say off rip, just go get an LLC. Don't even worry about, because the fees will vary depending on what structure you decide to go. So if the fee is $50 for an LLC, it might be $75 for the partnership, or whatever other corporation you decide to go under or structure you decide to go under.
Right.
So,
and I was just gonna say also the reason why I say LLC is because it puts that protection for you. First of all, it separates you from the business, but then you can also do your taxes as an S corp instead of a C corp. But C corp is basically like, that's the way that big corporations file their taxes. It's separate. It's almost like a separate person. But with the LLC, you can do the S corp. That's what I meant to say. So with the S corp, you can still file it on your personal tax return, but it'll kind of separate it. But anyway, I'll let you do the research and you figure out I did that years ago, and I do it whenever it's time to open another business. Sorry about that. But yeah, you definitely want to look into the entity and figure out which one you want to go to. So as Fabio said, he recommends the LLC. I recommend the LLC, but again, it's to your own discretion. I know one guy, he just simply does it as a contractor, and his company is called something contracting. So it's up to you. It's really about the taxes. See what's going to present the best tax advantage for you. All right. So the next thing I want to move on to Actually, it's the last thing we're here already. So it's the insurance.
And real quick, before we go to insurance, if you get, well, I don't know, well, in the state, I'll say in the state of Michigan, let's say if you get a sole proprietor, you can just use your social security number
Right.
or whatever. You don't necessarily have to have the EIN number right away. A lot of times people get caught with the whole EIN number and get a lot of people actually get scared to get an EIN number because they deal with taxes and they want to know if they doing it right and how they, how it works. And basically all the EIN number is like your social security number for your business.
Exactly.
So you just like you have your regular social security number for your person, you have your business social security number, and that's what the EIN is for. It also, um, EIN is also like for the employees too. Like when you cut the checks, usually the EIN number is going to be on there. You just have to provide that type of information for that.
Correct.
Um, but you don't necessarily need the EIN number to start if you want to use your sole proprietorship. You can use your social security number.
Correct.
And if you decide to hire employees, then you will have to definitely have an EIN number.
Correct. And also, I would just add too that if you're going to use your social and not get an EIN, that's fine. But the purpose of the LLC and the purpose of the EIN is to separate you from the business. And like, so if you in a living apartment, you don't own anything at all, not even a car, anything. If you start off with your social security number, sole proprietorship, or social security, that's fine. You don't necessarily, you're not really concerned about separating the business from you just yet. Basically, everything the business is making is your money anyway in the beginning. But if you are somebody, you're a homeowner, you have a couple of assets, and you want to separate yourself from the business, I recommend you get the EIN and limited liability and any type of protection as early on as possible, because you never want to be one with the business. Because if that business messes up, and somebody comes to sue the business, they can also sue for your personal assets as well. So
Well, that's
oh, go ahead.
exactly what you'd be suing for if they sue you under a sole proprietor because you are the sole proprietor.
Right.
So if they sue the business, it's like saying that they personally sued you because there's really no protection there. So
Correct.
I would say get the LLC as quickly as you can. But if money is a factor and you want to at least get a couple accounts, you can do it with your social security number and um, the sole proprietor, providing you're doing the business like yourself. You're like the one man show. Again, if you hire employees, and I get questions like this all the time, you definitely want to have your EIN number
Right.
and definitely be a LLC. I would suggest.
Right. And just remember, the EIN number is free also. So just
Yes.
keep in mind. Um, all right. So I guess we'll move on to the insurance. And the first thing the way I was taught to do it is through the franchise model. And I've dealt with a couple of different ones. So basically, they get the big three things, which is liability coverage, workers' comp if you have employees, and if it's mandated by your state, and then also the bond coverage. And so I'm a little iffy on this, Fabio. You can clean me up, but so the liability coverage, I believe, is covering if anyone gets hurt in the building. I believe is what it's covering, and
Yep.
then
Your
the bond is covering theft,
theft. Yep.
and then the workers' comp, I'm not sure about. Go ahead and get it.
Uh, the the workers' comp is pretty much the same as the pretty much like the liability. They go hand in hand. A lot of times that's not even on the application. A lot of times it's just liability and um, bond. It's just
Right,
liability insurance and bond.
right,
Uh, work workman's comp is they get hurt. You got to pay them. You know to be off pretty much. That's basically what
right.
that is. So which still falls under the liability insurance.
Okay. Do you remember what limits you want to ask for? I think when I did it, I think it was 1 million in liability coverage and 2 million aggregate, I believe is the word they use. So basically you get 1 million per incident up to 2 million per year is how that works. And then that's for the liability coverage. For the bond, you want a minimum of $50,000 coverage. And then for the workers' comp, I don't think there's any limits on that. I'm not sure. So did you have
Yeah,
any that you remember adding on?
Workman's comp in some states, because I operate in different states. Some states I have it on. Some states it's all tied in with the
Right,
liability
right,
insurance. So, um, but it varies from state to state.
right.
Uh, as far as I've started as little as $5,000 and paid it out to. I broke it down into, I guess, 6 months. But the premiums are in
Right,
six
right,
months.
right, 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 right.
Yep. So you could. Some people do a month to month. Some people they offer maybe quarterly. Some people semi-annually and annually.
Yeah,
It just depends on what your money is like.
yeah.
Uh, I would definitely tell you want to get that as soon as you can. I started off without it in the beginning,
Mhm.
but then I was the one man show, so I wasn't expecting to steal nobody's stuff, and I wasn't
Right.
expecting to hurt myself. So I clean, got 2 or 3 accounts under my belt, and then I went and got the insurance.
So do
As long
you
as long as they don't ask for it first, if they ask for it first, then obviously they want to see it before they even hire you to clean for them. Uh,
exactly? That's what I pretty much was gonna recommend was that try to get some account first if you can, and then get the coverage just because, especially if it's just gonna be you in there, simply because that way you can have some income coming in to cover that liability. Uh,
right.
okay, just want to make sure you're on the same page with that. And then also I wanted to add too is make sure that you meet with a broker. Well, you don't have to, but I recommend that you meet with a broker simply because they can shop around for the best deal. Number one, number two, they can explain the coverage to you in detail, and then number three, they can tailor a policy to fit you and your situation exactly where it needs to be fit. But you got to be smart with that too. Don't let them oversell you on stuff. So, but
That's what I was about to say. Brokers can be very expensive.
right,
The best way to do it is just hit your yellow pages or hop online, call different insurance agencies, and just kind of compare prices, so to speak. You can kind of do that lead work yourself. I ran game on a lot of insurance, and I'll tell you what I did is I matched one against the other. So if one was charging me, let's say a premium of 299 for 6 months, $299, because it's really not
no, it's
that
not
much
right.
that, but different companies charge different amounts. I would say, well, your competitor charged, 199, and a lot of times they'll match that just to
Right.
get you in the door. So that's the little game you can play. Same thing with cars. It's like you go to one dealership, say, hey, I can go get the same car at the other dealership. A lot of times they match the price, that type of thing. But um,
Correct.
that's so you can get the pricing down. Brokers can be very expensive, but they are very helpful if you get the right one.
Okay. What do you mean by expensive when you say that?
Well, what I mean is they can oversell a lot of stuff that you really don't need,
Okay.
and, but you have to pay for that monthly or annually or however you paying your
Right.
premium. You have
Right.
to pay for that. So you don't necessarily want to have to pay for a lot of stuff that you may not need if you only have 2 or 3 accounts, and it's just, let's say a dentist office or a law firm, or that type of thing. These are smaller accounts opposed to maybe a large school. Like I have school that's it's more liability in schools. You're dealing with kids, you're dealing with faculty, you're dealing with a lot of things in school. I have a school. So
Right.
um
I just wanted
so
to make sure that they were clear about what you meant by expensive because I didn't want them to think that you had to pay money to go see the broker. You know what I mean? You can speak to
right,
a broker
right.
for free. Right.
No, you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay to speak to the broker. And if they say you have to pay for consultation, run,
Right. Right.
because you don't have to pay to consult with them. Um, their goal is to help you, but sometimes they over help you, like I said, and they'll charge you and say you need this, you should get that, this is helpful, and you should get it
Right.
now because we give it to you at a low price, and you might not even need it right now. So
Exactly. And I'll give you an example is when I talked to the broker that I was about to use, and he told me, well, do you have inland marine coverage? Do you need inland marine? I'm like, what is that? And so he told me what inland marine is when you have a bunch of equipment and you leave it on site, but you don't have it at your central location at your house or your warehouse, wherever you're storing your equipment. So they'll cover it at your storehouse location, but they won't cover the equipment if it's on the site of the job or the accounts or whatever. So what he was saying is the inland marine to cover it when it's out there. And I almost got it until I realized I don't even have any equipment. Not any equipment that's worth paying a deductible for, you know what I mean? So uh like all of my, if I do first of all, I don't even do strip and wax, I sub them out. And even if I did do it, I would rent it. So you know, there was no point in getting that covered. So that's what we mean when we say a broker can be expensive. You got to be careful with them, but again, they can also be helpful. So, and also he told me about lost key coverage, and it was like, you know, I mean, certain things you can get around. So we just want to put that out there.
Right. And make sure you understand. Do not be shy to ask questions, because a lot of times they'll speak to you in terms that you're not even familiar with. So you want to, if you don't understand a specific word or you don't understand something that the broker is saying, be sure to let them know that you don't understand and let them break it down to you in layman's terms. Don't just shake your head and nod and say yes, you understand if you don't understand, because
Exactly right.
it's signing yourself for a mess.
Right. And that's pretty much it. I mean, as far as the legal part, so I didn't want to hold you guys too long. First off, and I forgot to say this in the beginning, I try to say this at the beginning of all of these videos in this series, is thank you for the purchase, first off. Thank you for watching, subscribing, liking, and sharing. And before we go, let me let Fabio give you all of his information, his contact information, and then I'll close out.
Okay, if you guys want to get in contact with me, you can call me at the office. That's 1-888-770 8076. That's my direct office line. You press 0 extension 0, and that'll get you directly to me. Or you can email me at bookfabiohart@gmail.com. That's BOOK Fabio FABIO Hart HART, all one word, @gmail.com. Or just catch me on YouTube at official Fabio Hart. That's my channel.
All right. I appreciate you, Fabio. And also email that guy. He got some wisdom, he got some information. He done, as you can see, he done been around a little bit. And with me, y'all email me to death. So send them to me. Don't stop emailing me, but send them some too. You know what I mean? So but
I definitely catch a lot of your people too in my emails.
I know you do. I see one of my favorite subscribers over there asking you questions one day.
Yeah, I get questions from your people. But guys, I want to tell you before we close this out, and the truth is that it's not going to be easy in the beginning. It's absolutely not. AJ can tell you that. Whether it's franchise or independent, it's not going to be easy.
Period.
You register your business, you structure, you get your banking, you get your EIN, you get your first employee, which is usually exciting because you feel like you somebody at that point. At least I did. It's not going to be easy. You have to stay motivated. Don't just do cleaning because it's easy to start and or take a lot of revenue to kind of build, because it don't. I mean, to get in, and if you want to get a franchise, you get a franchise, but you don't necessarily have to. It's very reasonable to start, but just stay motivated. That's all I can tell you. If you're not motivated, if cleaning is not your thing, don't jump into it, because
you know what? Now that you mentioned it, I just want to know, without the franchise, on average, how much do you think cash to start a cleaning business?
Reasonably, I started mine with $200.
See?
So,
and it's doable.
I started mine with $200, and that's getting the legal structure, that's getting all of that stuff. That my first set of business cards from Vistaprint, that start. I mean, I got started for $200. The leg work came from actual cold calling and doing the marketing aspect. I guess we had talked about that on another video, but that's where the sweat equity kick in, is doing the leg work to get the accounts. But yeah, reasonably, you can start it with $200.
Okay. Yeah. And I agree with that. All right. So thank you guys for watching, and you'll see us soon. I think on the next episode. I don't know where we're gonna go from. I think we're gonna go with equipment, buying equipment and all of that crap. I'm telling you where you can get it from. And
Right.
I let Fabio. We let Fabio hang around as long as he want to. You let the he come back for all the rest of them we want to. As a matter of fact, I might let you do one of that whole videos yourself in this series, and we can do some things. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, subscribing, liking, sharing. Till next time, thank you guys.
And support this man.